So today I want to have a conversation, and this is a conversation that I've been having for over 20 years. And the thing is, why is every black person in the diaspora with an accent considered Jamaican? And it is something that if you are in the Caribbean, if you are in Jamaica, in Trinidad, Barbados, St. Vincent, wherever in the Caribbean you are, and you have never left the Caribbean, this is something that more than likely you'd have not experienced. And since I've been outside of Jamaica for over 20 years, going back and forth, and being in the Caribbean community for that period of time, everywhere that I've been outside of Jamaica, I always find myself a Caribbean community. And I've seen it firsthand numerous times being around my Caribbean brothers and sisters, whether you're from St. Vincent, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, and someone that it's either a tourist from Europe or from Asia, and they would be having a conversation with that person, and they would assume that they're from Jamaica. And the thing is, what I've discovered over the years is that this is all because of the culture. Jamaica has such a powerful culture, in particular reggae music. And any Jamaican in the diaspora will tell you that people that they come across and they know about Jamaica, 90% of the time, the first thing they'll say is Bob Marley. 90% of the time. That has been my experience. People who have never been to Jamaica, people who have just heard of Jamaica, and 90% of the time, it's because of Bob Marley. And so the assumption is made, like every time they see like a black person, particularly from the Caribbean, and sometimes I've seen it happen with people from Africa too. Like I've been around people from Ghana, and people are asking them where in Jamaica they're from. So that is to show you the power of Bob Marley himself. And even with Usain Bolt for the past, I would say, almost like 16 years, with Usain Bolt being on top of the world in terms of being the fastest man in the world. And so I reacted to a video few months ago about a young lady, Vincentian young lady, and she lives in Toronto, and she got that question all the time. And so today, this video now that I'm reacting to today is a man from Trinidad and Tobago, the beautiful twin island of Trinidad and Tobago, and he's talking about his experience in Europe, going to Europe as a Trini for the first time, and what he encountered on his journey to Europe and also Africa. So this is the video that I'll be reacting today, and it's pretty much why does everyone assume that if you're black and if you have an accent, you're from Jamaica. So let's take a look.
So here I'm traveling in Europe, right? And I run into that situation which I find very embarrassing for me. So everywhere I go and people hear this sweet Trini accent, the Trini accent is the sweetest accent in the whole world, well documented in the Guinness Book of World Records, page 100 to be exact. They would ask me where I am from. And I will proudly say I am from Trinidad and Tobago. And I'll just add the Caribbean just to make it clearer. And then they would all look quite confused. They would have this blank stare. This looked like, what is the answer? And I would repeat Trinidad and Tobago near Venezuela in the Caribbean. But it don't make no sense to them. They still have the confused look. So then I have to go now to the bottom of the barrel. And then against all good conscience, I have to say we are located near Jamaica. And then their face light up, like them win the lottery now because they talking to somebody who they think is Jamaican. Because they never hear the word near, Then they started telling about Usain Bolt, about Bob Marley. Yeah, man. I'm like, yeah, man, that's a Trini thing. Solely Trini thing. So I now would be like, yeah, we had a guy who won the Olympics too in 1976. He did the 100 meters and he won. He beat everybody. It was like 100 and 100. It took him like 100 seconds, but he still win. That record still stands today. Nobody running 100 and 100. He have the record for that, right? We have Miss World. We have Miss Universe. We have Marshall Montano. They never hear about that. Soca, no. We have Steel Pan. I say Steel Pan, they say Jamaica. So anyhow, I go through that. I live that. And then I go on to an African country. So I reach immigration. And when I reach immigration, I pull out my passport. So Trini passport, man, hold that, Trini. The man take the passport, he look at it, he put it up in the air, he turn the page, and the man asks me, what is this? I said, Trinidad. He take the passport now and he gone by the next immigration officer. And two of them looking at my passport like it's the biggest fraudulent document and makeup country in the world they ever see. And mind you, they are attending to a Jamaican girl. A pretty girl. I have to add, very beautiful. But what, I was offended because she was laughing at me. So the immigration officer come back to me now and he said, where you from? I said, Jamaica. He stamped the passport, so bam. Meantime, the Jamaican, well, she bust a laugh. Right? They asked that girl nothing, you know. She showed them a Jamaican passport, so and them, I don't know. They asked nothing. So anyhow, I lived through that. And I was released into the country as Jamaican. Right? I go on everywhere I go in. Sometimes I just find it was just easier to say I'm Jamaican. But one man asked me where I'm from, and I spoke very slowly. And I said to him, I am from Trinidad and Tobago. The man looked at me in the most sincere way, and he said to me, you speaking Arabic? And I said to him, Trinidad and Tobago. Then I realized I'm not getting anywhere, so I say, I am from Jamaica. And then he go through the Usain Bolt, the Bob Marley. He started to sing One Love. Me and all singing One Love. I don't care even sing. Me and who Bob Marley is nothing. Two are we singing One Love. Because I know I is Jamaican. Everywhere I go now, I realize, okay, the part of least resistance is to say I'm Jamaican. I go on somewhere to eat for dinner. The people them can't speak English, but they singing reggae. I don't get it. Seem like the only country in them places and them I went to, I don't know if I just shake with it, but nobody, none, not one, say they ever hear about Trinidad and Tobago. And I saying to myself, no, I say in Jamaican, what about me look Jamaican?
Okay, so you're watching this video and you are from the Caribbean and you live in the diaspora or on your travel, whether it's in Europe, whether it's anywhere in Africa. Has this ever happened to you and how did it make you feel? Sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. And what is interesting is that being in the diaspora, I realize how naive or how uninformed people are about the history of the Caribbean and about Caribbean culture, because most people that I know assume that every Jamaican is black. Jamaicans are Rastafarian and so forth, not knowing that Jamaica is pretty much out of many one people, and that's pretty much the motto for the Caribbean, because the Caribbean is so multicultural in terms of their people from African descent, there are people from Indian descent, there are people from Chinese, there are people from Syrian, there are people from German, like different mixed group of people that makes up the Caribbean. And so it's always interesting. Like I've had a few occasions where I am somewhere with a Jamaican that's Chinese or a Jamaican that's like white. And when the patois would come out now, like that is always like everyone just stands still when they're like, what just happened? Like I'm looking at these Chinese guy looking like he just came from China and I'm here in patois. So that is always like a funny reaction whenever I'm around like Jamaicans that are either white or Chinese or Indian and they go deep into the patois. So people are not used to that. They just think that all Jamaicans are Rastafarian, all Jamaicans smoke weed, all Jamaicans are black, and that shows you that people don't really know a lot about, as I said, the culture. People are in their own bubble. So guys, sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.